Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about Recreators, or at least half of it. Yeah, I've only seen the first 12 episodes, and um, my friend is on my case to make sure that I finish it. I had planned on watching the show um, eventually. It was on the backlog, just not very high on the priority list because I got things to do. As for where exactly on the priority list it was, well, mind your own business. Nobody likes a busy bunny. Anyway, basically, Recreators is a reverse isekai, where characters from anime, manga, and video games come to our world and start to stir up trouble. Um, it's incredibly well animated, especially for a show that came out in 2017, but oh boy, where do I start? So, I should start with I am genuinely having fun with the show so far. 12 episodes out of 22. And the show is playing with a lot of really complex ideas about um, being a content creator of some type and uh, being a responsible content creator and what that means and what it's like to go through emotions like jealousy when you're comparing yourself to other more successful or whatnot content creators. And when the show is talking about those sorts of themes and stuff, it's a really good time. And that's when I think that the show is at its best. I think that just conceptually, the show is a way ahead of its time. But unfortunately, when the characters start to talk amongst themselves to one another, that's when I feel like the show really starts to fall apart. Um, and unfortunately, it's a situation where it's inconsistent. It's a lot of fluff in the dialogue sometimes, and I was willing to give it a pass in the case of Meteora. She's a bookworm, like librarian, nerdy, know-it-all type, but she doesn't do it all the time, and other characters do it as well. So if it were just her, I'd be like, oh well, she's like the know-it-all, gotta talk smart type character. But all of the characters do that, and it's this situation where a scene will be really really good and could just end, and it'll be just a good scene, like this is awesome, I'm having fun, this is great, and then they drag it on for like 2 or 3 more minutes than it needs to be, and they just add absolutely nothing, no value, no content. Like it just kind of, it just drags down what would have been an excellent scene to being annoying and kind of obnoxious. So when it comes to the fight scenes, um, I guess I wouldn't have as much of a problem with them. So here, let me put it to you this way. Meteora, one of the characters, the know-it-all bookworm type, basically says that the more of a disturbance they cause in this world, the more likely it is that this world force rejects them and does itself to correct. The world will course correct and get rid of all of these strange anomalies and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, when you have a bunch of characters from fiction and they're fighting and stirring up stuff, that's bad. Okay. But here's the thing. Every time a fight starts, excluding one time, they immediately throw away the pretext of, oh, we have to keep our disturbance in this world to a minimum. And they start causing ridiculous amounts of damage. And it just seems like they completely don't care. Like they're not trying to protect buildings or property. They do protect civilians, but that's only in a fight that happens before she states that, oh, the world could come undone if we cause too much of a disturbance. Like, they were more conscious of what they were doing in this world before they added this ridiculous, the world will end if we cause too much of a disturbance thing. And I was kind of explaining to my friend who I was watching it with that they could have easily removed that or just not talked about, that sort of thing. And the story would have had all of its urgency. The villain would still be, she would still have all of her objectives, like wanting to cause trouble because the world rejected her creator, so she rejects the world kind of thing. And it would have been less patronizing on the viewer because they would be concerned with stopping the villain no matter what, without this really dumb threat of the world ending. It's really, really dumb. And it makes every fight scene that happens after that just like thematically inappropriate, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good term. Thematically, it's inappropriate. Another big frustration I have with the show is, okay, so there's this girl introduced kind of later on in the, well, not later on, after a couple of episodes. Her name is Magane. She doesn't wear glasses. She looks like the type of character who would wear glasses. But everyone who she meets, she basically tells them, hey, you shouldn't trust me. She's one of the types of villains who likes chaos for the sake of chaos, just entertaining, doesn't like to be bored. And she's really good at manipulating people. But there's a incident that occurs between Alice something, Horse Lance Girl, when the magical girl is all beat up and dying, and the Lance Girl finds her. Magane is basically there and tells her that somebody totally different is the one who killed the magical girl. And the Horse Lance chick just believes her with no question, despite already knowing that she's an untrustworthy type of person. And that type of thing is just so cliche. It's so played out. It's just, oh, stop doing this, please. And using the argument that, the show is doing tropes on purpose isn't a valid reason to me. Like, if you know you're doing something that's annoying, then stop. Like, you're not adding anything to the show by being the anime playbook. Maybe a portion of this comes down to the protagonist, like the main character guy, who I've already said to my friend, he goes to protagonist hell for sure, because he knows the deal behind the big bad mystery girl with the military uniform. He knows who she is. He knows where she's from, but he doesn't say anything. And I knew that from very early on in the show. And I was willing to give it a pass because nobody had really died yet. Just a whole lot of property damage. No real loss has happened yet. But the moment people start actually dying, and it does happen in the show about maybe episode 6 or 7, and he continues to hold his tongue and doesn't tell the others that he knows who this character is, that's when I was just like, ugh. So you're just a terrible character trope who's also being written poorly. Gotcha. There's also a really good moment in the show where one of the quote unquote good girls, she's having a rough time in this fight, and she gets stabbed, completely run through, and she's knocking on death's door, and her creator runs up to her and goes, there's no way you're gonna lose to this type of character. I wrote you better than that. You're the type of character who would not falter to this sort of thing. And it was a strong moment because he was taking pride in his creation, and I guess you could say that kind of gave her the strength. As tired as that is, I mean, it's not tired, but it's like, ugh, that's kind of cringy to say. But the way that he delivered those lines and the way that that scene played out was just like, yes, 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 more of this, please. And I don't know why this sort of thing, it's becoming more and more common. But I know that I'm not done. But I have to be honest, I don't think that this is an issue that they're going to fix in the remaining episodes. But we'll see. I'm actually planning on doing another video about when I'm completely done with the show, my thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please keep in mind that I'm only up to episode 12. So if you can, try not to spoil that. I'm probably going to finish it very, very soon in the next couple of days. So look forward to another video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.